Well, I've got to say, I'm absolutely gutted at that. Take it, we are live. We're live. There's loads of folk back in the studio. And how many folk are on the live? 2. There's 12 folk online. We're back. Where did we go for that? That was unbelievable. It was to go. Get Kaiser back on in a minute once he's on. To go 2-0 up. 2-0 up. Brendan will say it's progress. I think it was progress. I think what was really hard to take was the fact that we went to 2 at the back, 3 at the back, and 5 at the back. Playing 5 at the back was just unbelievable. I think it was. Come on, Kaiser, where are you? That was a difficult one to take. Difficult. Rogers subs need questioned, said Samuel. I think the fact that Kyogo was probably a little bit tired, and it is one of those things. It's when you get to that stage, and it is like a loss. I can understand how everyone's feeling tonight. I mean, it feels like a loss. But we were so good the first half, so good. We controlled the game. We went, when we went 1-0 up, he changed the formation. He changed to a 5 at the back, T1, and then he went to a 3 at the back. So you can't say that he wasn't trying. A lot of people have been saying, and me and Kaiser, myself on this channel, we've been saying, look, we would love to see Celtic play a 3-5-2. And he didn't. He didn't at the beginning, but he ended the game with a 3-5-2. There has the man back on. So he didn't start the game with a 3, but he definitely ended the game with a 3. So Phillips looked good, says T1. Yeah, I think the change of formation, it's something that we need to look at going forwards, because especially in the SPFL, and I think the biggest problem tonight was we're not used to playing 3 at the back. We're definitely not used to playing 3 at the back. What do you think, Kaiser? What a game that was.
It was. I think it was kind of like when we switched up that formation, it was a kind of shocking revelation to the squad that we could play in Europe in that way, that we could switch to a back 3 when we're in possession, and also switch back to the 5-3-2, pushing the 2 wide defenders on, which is, I think, is most famously seen by Martin O'Neill.
I'll tell you one thing, it was brave by Brendan Rodgers to go to a back 3, because it's never been done at Celtic for such a long time. 2-2, I ended 2-2. Yeah. It's never been done for such a long time. And you're thinking, we've all been shouting for it. We've all been screaming for it for long enough. Let's go back to 3 at the back, especially in the league. And we just done it. Oh, there's you. Bad news. There we go. In fact, I need to jump onto the actual live stream, so I need to do this, and then I'll ban them for good. Our nightly stalker's back. He must love watching Celtic.
He just loves it.
Right, you can read some of the comments out whilst I just do a little thing in the background to get rid of our stalker.
Yeah, no problem, brother. Great first half. Yeah, fully agree, Michael. Absolutely fantastic first half. He played them off the park. Thoroughly deserved for 2-1 lead going in at half time. Thought it was going to be more of the same when we came out in the second half. Of course, they had that half-time break interlude to make changes. You know what I mean? How quickly we reacted to their changes. Maybe if Brendan had made the substitutes a bit faster, like you seen them make the changes at half time. If Brendan had changed that formation, instantly reacted to how they were playing, then maybe we could have retained the lead in that game. But that being said, he did react to it, and we did manage to retain a point from that game. So kudos to the manager, kudos to the players. You know what I mean? The work rate that we've seen there for the players was absolutely outstanding. Even the players coming on from the substitute bench, they came on and they gave it their all.
Brendan will get questioned about the substitutes and bringing on, taking off a winger that was absolutely on fire. I mean, Louis Palmer didn't do much wrong. Scored an absolute cracker of a goal, and then to get taken off for a defender got us all
I think that
thinking,
point Sarah
what's
makes
going
there
on?
as well, bro. That I think that Forrest coming on shows that there is a lack of strength and depth in positions. There is a lack of options. When we look at the players who were on the bench, if none of these players like Mikey Johnson, if none of these players are in contention before a 364-year-old James Forrest, if none of them are in contention before him, why are they at the club? Why are they on the bench? Surely we could have players who are viable options. I don't actually know how old James Forrest is. I'm
I
just
think
guessing. In football terms, I think he is about 364 years
yeah,
old.
I think it was James Forrest has got experience, and you can understand why Brendan Rodgers, when he looks at the bench, is like, who's got the experience and who's done it at this level for me in the past, whether that be right or wrong. But when it comes down to it, he just looks at him for the experience, and he had the last 15, 20 minutes of the game. He's the type of player that in his day he could come on and change games. Has he still got that in him? I don't think he has, because he doesn't get enough game time. He's never, by no means has he finished.
Bingo.
I mean, TNT are just showing the Kyogo goal again. That brilliant little pass for Matt O'Reilly, and then Kyogo boom into the side of the net. Brilliant
And
header for
look
Dyson
at how
Ryder.
high up. Look how high up the midfield was in the first half. You know what I mean,
Look at us.
Baz?
We've got 4 players in their box.
Yeah, it was
And that was the
outstanding.
difference. It was. I would actually say that although I can understand why Brendan wanted to bring on another defender to try and make sure we didn't lose the game, because at that point we went to 2-2. So he didn't want to lose the game. So hats off to him for that. He wanted to make sure, because let's face it, last year we would have lost that game. We would have lost it quite easily, because
Baz, right?
we wouldn't have been as defensive. We'd have been still trying to attack and try and get that goal. If Brendan hadn't made the changes so dramatically, and as it transpires, they get a man sent off. We've not got the players on the pitch that can take advantage of that, unfortunately.
So I tell you now, mate, for me, right, what you're saying there is spot on, right? I think it's some of column A, some of column B, and some of column C. I think maybe the players who were on the pitch after conceding the equaliser were a bit shell-shocked and thinking this same old story repeating itself again. Maybe picking that up for the crowd as well. A lot of the crowd are feeling that. Brendan making such stark changes in reaction to that certainly stemmed that and put an end to that feeling. Then them getting a man sent off was certainly unpredictable, unpredicted, right? And I think Spanish media will be saying that basically they wrestled a draw while down to 10 men, even though they were only down to 10 men for a very small period of the game. But they will be seen as they wrestled that from Celtic. They won that draw when they didn't. Really, it was ours to lose. The game was in our hands. It was ours to throw away.
It was. I can understand. I mean, I know the guys that will be back in their buses just now, in the bus park and stuff, and they'll be feeling absolutely gutted at the way that we drew the game. I mean, all the noise before the game was all about the Green Brigade. All the noise before the game was all about 1974. I said this morning's video, I said, look, when it comes to it's 11 guys on the pitch, I think these players can do something. We named 3 players before the game, which turned out to be pretty much right on. The only one that didn't score was Matt O'Reilly.
Still, we had an excellent chance. I think shot. On another night, he could have scored. And I think, like Michael Ross saying there, the players will be delighted. The supporters will be delighted we got the draw. I think in the cold light of tonight, right after that game, me after watching that game, I certainly feel that game was there for the taking. That was our game. That was our win. So to feel aggrieved at getting the draw, I feel is acceptable. But in the cold light of tomorrow morning, getting the draw, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with us.
It has remnants of the Feyenoord game. With it, I mean, the first half against Feyenoord, the fact that we were so good, but then getting a man sent off the first half, and then the second half we just felt a bits. We didn't fall to bits tonight. We didn't do that at all. We didn't collapse. Usually in Celtic and
who's
Europe,
this walloper, Baz? The Giant.
that?
Anybody who calls herself the Giant, you know there is absolutely nothing about them that is giant. As a matter of fact, everything about them is tiny, especially in their boxer shorts. Ain't that right? The Giant. You know what I mean? My man's got two belly buttons and both of them are innies.
I can't see his comments, so I'm not even going to worry about it. New comments.
Ted Team still couldn't win. He says, bro, what a fool this man is. Worry about your own side, brother. Worry about your own side. Worry about them dying and coming back to life and what results you're going to get under Clementine. Oh, my darling.
Oh, my darling Clementine. Anyway, Martin O'Neill and Neil Lennon also talking about that. I mean, Martin O'Neill would be thinking this is a game that Celtic could win. When you go in at half time and we're 2-1 up, and I did say at half time, I said, look, they're going to come out and attack us. They're going to come out and attack us. They made 2 changes at half time that we didn't cope with. And you've seen Callum McGregor getting pulled. I mean, Callum McGregor had a bad game.
He just got deeper and deeper.
And I said that at the start, he's getting dragged back into a back 5. And then you see the manager makes a decision. Like, does he be brave and take Callum McGregor off? No, he takes Lewis Palm off. And then he puts another defender off. And goes to a back 5, which then when we're pushing forward, actually just goes to back 3 and shores up that midfield. Because we were getting run ragged in the midfield.
Exactly.
We were getting run ragged in the midfield.
Even when we went to the back 5, Baz, as we've seen, right? We went to the back 5. Callum McGregor standing in front of a back 5.
Yeah.
That's now a 6-man defence, and you're like, he's surplus to requirement now. That's how deep he's dropped back in the game. Now, was that all Callum McGregor's responsibility? Was that in part due to the injury to Rio Hatate? Bernardo coming on, Bernardo not being used properly, not being used the way we use Rio Hatate. I think maybe the player's not having as much confidence in him. I don't know. You know what I mean? But it certainly dropped far too deep. And as you said, instantly, bro, when it happened, we are no longer in contention in midfield. No. We've lost our shape in there.
We've lost it. You could see it just watching the telly. I mean, it must have been murder to watch at the actual game, but you could see that we'd lost our shape completely that first 10, 15 minutes of the second half. When you look at, you look at the goals for the first half and how much we were pushing forward, and especially the midfielders. And then when you had Kyogo and the 2 wingers right up front, you had them right up front and totally going for it. So the fact that
100%.
we drew the game, the fact that we drew the game, it's disappointing. But let's a minute till I get this. Where is this giant?
The midget. He's got a wee purple badge with a T on it, bro.
That's
Can't even spell Glasgow right. You know what I mean? I don't know what part of the world this guy's from.
That's all right. He can't comment anymore. So he's now gone. Once again, there's another one that comes. Another pretender comes in.
I don't know.
But
sorry.
Listen,
it wasn't him. It was just another purple name, bro. This is joint manager. I was like, hold on, no, don't ban him yet.
Yeah, that's it. 2-2 as a result is after watching that game, it's not the best. It's not the best result. But before it, I said, look, give me a draw all day long. You went with 3-1.
You're living in Spain, Baz, right? You see the quality week in and week out of the football over there. You highlighted yourself, Atletico Madrid are 3 points off the top of La Liga. Right? With a game in hand.
With a game in hand. And if they win that, they go top of the league above Real Madrid.
So they go top of the league. So that's top of the league. Almost in Spain. Second place right now, are they sitting? Is that where they are right now?
They're third. They're third right now.
So third in La Liga right now. And we're sitting here and debating over the fact that we got a draw when we feel that we earned a victory. We outplayed them for vast majorities of that match. Okay, they made the changes at half-time, brought on the players. We didn't really react to that instantly, but when we did react to that, we came back into the ascendancy. They got a player sent off, and I certainly feel the game was there for the taking. That's why I feel like grieved at the draw. But as you says, bro, before the game, before a ball was kicked, if you'd have come in and offered me a draw, I'd have put your hand off for it. I'd have took it all day long.
A draw is a fantastic result. I mean, when we look at, we can only go back to the table. We're still bottom of the table, right? We're off the mark, so we've got 1 point. Lazio have got 4. Atletico Madrid have got 5, and Feyenoord are on 6. If we had won the game, we'd have been right back in the mix. We'd have been right back in the mix, and it's now realistically we need to go to Atletico. We need to go to Spain, and we need to get something in Spain. We need to go to Lazio, and we need to win in Lazio like we did in 2019. And then when Feyenoord come calling the last game, it's a must win. It's a must win.
They're all must wins for me, Baz, from this point forward. From this game was a must win. It was do or die. Okay, right. Do or die. What is do and what is die? Well, die is a defeat, and do is not being defeated. And we were not defeated. So
we weren't defeated, but you know, it's
I will accept this draw.
It's hard to take. Right, let's get something. Vic Harper says, why does Taylor back off all the time? I think he was playing more defensive tonight than what he has in a long time. What do you think, Kaiser?
I think in the first half, if you look at Taylor, he played left back to the letter of the law in the first half. He stayed back. He didn't push forward. He didn't invert. He didn't push into midfield. And we were solid in the first half. We were absolutely excellent in the first half. So to say, why does he back off all the time? Like, I get that. I do understand that. And then when we made the tactical changes in the second half, that see him kind of playing that Bobby Petta and Didier Agat bombing wingers, both him and Anthony Johnston. The players have never done that before. They've never done that for us before. They've never tried that before. I thought they adapted to it really well. They put an effort in. For an instant tactical change just to adjust to that. I don't know if any of you have ever played 11-a-side football and asked to be changed.
Can you hear what Brendan Rodgers is saying right now?
No, I cannot, brother. Yeah. I cannot. I turned it off. They're not as important as what we're saying. That's what's important.
Right. Big shout out to Michael Rosswell. Atletico make another commemorative kit to celebrate another draw at Celtic Park. Graham Harding, he follows up by saying that Bernardo needs game time. Yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
I thought Bernardo, he was good at points, but he didn't get enough of the ball. And he didn't get his. He didn't. I don't think. He gave away a few fouls. He's just not got. He's not up there to speed, if you ask me. But he's a cracking player that hopefully can progress. Joseph says, hi, Baz. Maida's cross was a good one. But the same on Sunday, Palma for the second back. Yep. So that. They were dirty, said Noodles. I don't think they were dirty, but it was an interesting game to say. I don't think they were dirty. I think their main player
certainly
going down,
play acting, and they were in contention. You know what I mean? But that's to be expected for these players who play at a high level. They take any advantage, you know what I mean? Give them an inch, and they can fit their fingers in. They're going to put that inch, and they're going to pry it open. So yes, they will go down. They will fall. They will fall at every opportunity. They will look for the referee to book players. They will look to waste time, and I certainly think they've done a lot of wasting time. We actually seen that. We've seen their own manager telling, was it Griezmann, to get up and didn't want to send the medical staff on.
When,
he didn't want the extra time extended.
Didn't even touch his face.
So there we go, bro. Even their manager, I would say, didn't want extra time extended. Why not? If he felt his team was in the ascendancy.
He knew Celtic could probably come back and score a late winner, which we nearly did by Greg Taylor. Greg Taylor had managed to get a better connection to that.
I think it was Forrest who actually got that shot in.
Was it Forrest?
Yeah, it was Forrest. And it just sails over the bar. After talking about the only qualities that Forrest has left is he's a shooting and finishing ability. You know what I mean? He's presented with that chance. But once again, a player that doesn't get a lot of game time, and we're expecting him to come on and wave a magic wand.
I think it's definitely, now that it's been done, for the first time since the Martin O'Neill years, going to a 3 at the back is a must going forward in the league.
Yes.
In the league.
100%.
There is absolutely no reason for it. It's interesting to see that there's still some of the Green Brigade in the Celtic Park.
Well, the Green Brigade are banned for away games. They're not banned for home games. They were banned for 4 away games.
They're probably having a little meeting after the game. to talk about whatever they're doing next. So there you go. They're just showing the table. Celtic are on -3 goals and on 1 point, which is it's always hard to take. And it's one of those games where it does feel like an absolute loss.
Much do you get for a point in the Champions League, Baz?
Just the one. Just the one.
Yeah, how much? I think they give you cash for every point.
The cash.
I don't know exactly how much it is, but I know we earn cash for every point.
For a win. I know it's $500,000 for a win.
That statement there for Rodney as well. Simone half disrespected Brendan at the end. He didn't half disrespect him. He fully disrespected him.
Fully
it was disrespectful. Yeah. It was very disrespectful. 930,000. We get almost $1 million for a point.
For a point. Well, there you go. It's money in the bank. But when it comes down to it, we should have had the game tied up. I feel
we should have had 3.
I feel that we backed off a bit in the second half. I can understand why Brendan Rodgers did it. He tried to shore up the midfield. He went to a back 5 when we always knew they were going to have a 20-minute spell where they come into the game and they go for it. But when we went to 3 at the back, we didn't take advantage when they got a player sent off. We didn't take advantage when they had the player on the sidelines. It's these fine margins in the game. That it's just these little moments and little things.
Speaking about it, bro, when the refs faulted the game and they forced them to go off to the side, you're like, whatever you do, you keep the ball in play. If you retain possession there, then maybe you force one of their players to foul one of our players in order to get that man back in the pitch, snatching at it. Who knows? That's another booking, maybe even another red card, depending on who the player is who's committing the foul. But you definitely keep that ball in play and you exploit those numbers. I do think that when they went down to 10 men, I thought Brendan would have made further changes. I thought he would have went, right now they're down to 10 men.
There was nobody really on the bench that you could...
Once again, bro, that's exactly what we said. The quality and depth. If the players are not good enough to make changes in a game, why are they even on the bench?
We talk about the size of the squad and that we have an inflated squad. And that's one of the things that will get spoken about a lot. When you look at the players that were... Just a screenshot of that.
I'm always in the kitchen. This is the Kaiser's kitchen. Welcome to Kaiser's kitchen.
Like, when you look at the players that were on the bench, right? I mean, Yang could have came on. Forrest came on instead of him. Bernardo came on.
Mikey Johnson was on the bench.
Mikey Johnson. It's not a game. Is it a game for Mikey Johnson? He played in Portugal last year and he had an all right time the first half of the season. The second half, he wasn't that good.
Palmer was playing left wing. Palmer came off. You'd think swap light for light, give Mikey Johnson his chance. Instead of James Forrest is what I'm meaning, Baz. If we're looking to hit them on the break
but
and we're looking for pace.
We brought James Forrest on later into the game when the manager thought, right, we can actually win this. And I still think Palmer's the better player. Palmer
slap some square sausage on. Yeah. Mate, I'll go out in the street and I'll find the nearest blue nose and I'll put his face in the ban as well. Boom. What a legend.
Awata. Kevin's saying Awata. Could we have brought Awata in? Yes, that's a good shout, but then who would we have took off?
Like, instead of putting Phillips on, we could have brought Awata on. That's what I thought he was going to do, bro. I thought he was going to play Phillips in midfield. Both ways were saying that, and then we looked at the formation and seen that he'd been introduced to the back line. And don't get me wrong, I think you're spot on in saying, well, there you go. We've went to a back 3. We've done it in the Champions League.
We've done it in the Champions League.
Why not do it in the Scottish League?
We have to.
We're more than capable.
We're more than capable. And the thing is the way that they went at the end of the game, where they were sitting right back on their own box, we play against teams like this week in, week out. So we know how to beat teams like that. But we're just unlucky. I mean, the James Forrest one where he just gets his foot to it. If that goes in the back of the net, it's happy days, and we're not talking about this. But they
so the boys are putting in orders. They think I'm Chef Ramsay here. They're all get a wee piece and square sausage. You know what I mean? A wee free bentos for Kaiser.
Yeah. I think going to what John says, why play Jamesy Forrest? I think the only reason that you're playing Jamesy Forrest, as we alluded to before, is the fact that he's experienced. Do you know? And it is his experience playing at that level. Look, if James's Forrest, if that went in, we'd be saying that he was the saviour. He was saviour, and then you wouldn't be talking about, look, there was Mikey Johnson. There was Yang. You could have brought in one of them. Well, Yang's never really found the way to goal yet. Mikey Johnson. Mikey Johnson.
I think when you look at the previous games and the fact that we contended so well in the games, and then you look at what cost us in those games, Baz, as you've said there, what cost us was inexperience. So the last thing you're going to introduce is inexperience.
When you look at the 2 goals, the Spanish guy gets his foot. He puts his foot in front of Greg Taylor. Now, the guy's clever. He knows that Greg Taylor's running back for the ball. He gets his foot in front, so he knows that any contact at all, he goes down, it's a penalty because his foot's in front of the Celtic player, right? There's no arguing with that, but he was clever about it, the way that he done it. The second one, Cameron Carter-Vickers loses his man in midfield. The guy is basically directly behind him, about 5 yards behind him. Cameron Carter-Vickers actually turns around and looks to his left to see if he can see him, and doesn't see him. He doesn't pull up, but he doesn't attack the ball. He should be attacking the ball, just in case, because where's that player went to? If you can't see him this side, he's right behind you somewhere, and he'll be ready to run at that angle that you're not even looking at, and that's what happened. And Cameron Carter-Vickers.
I think both have said that, Baz, it's a tribute to how good the ball is, the way it's in between the defender and the goalkeeper. Both have said at separate points. CCV should be attacking that ball. Joe Hart should be coming out and claiming that ball. Joe Hart should certainly be telling CCV that there is a player on his back.
Behind him.
100%.
And that's why I said at the video, it's like, is it going to be the case that we're going to be speaking about the goalkeeper again? Because the goalkeeper should be helping out the defenders. He should be screaming at the defenders, and it's like, there's a guy behind you. Maybe Joe Hart's expecting Cameron Carter-Vickers to hit the ball out.
Yeah.
You never know.
For me, bro, right, like you see Strangelove saying there in the comments, with the first goal, the penalty, there's no arguing with the penalty. It's 100% a penalty. Intelligent play by the striker to win that penalty, but it was a penalty. There's no arguing with that there. The cross, the finish for the second goal, 100% as well. It was an excellent finish. Like, I did look at Joe Hart in the way he thoroughly attacked his front post, looking for the ball was going to go down low and into the front post, but the player played it back across. World-class finish once again. Absolutely. That's the quality. You know what I mean? That is the quality that we were looking for. Also seen someone else say, we need another big striker for when Kyogo's knackered. 100% with that as well.
100%.
My man, I like.
Someone said that during the game.
But I don't think he's got the quality to display it at that level. He's snatching at chances in the SPFL. You know what I mean? He's snatching at them because he wants a goal so desperately. Bringing him on the Champions League environment, snatching at chances. I mean, what are we going to do there? Really, we needed that striker that we were all calling out for. The left back, the midfielder, and the striker that we were all screaming for.
Are we really needing a left back? Because I mean, Greg Taylor had a decent game. He played his position really well. He didn't get dragged into the midfield like what he's been doing. Defensively, he was solid today. They never had a sniff. Liam Scales wasn't getting dragged out to the left. You can't really knock any of the players the first half. Kevin says, who were the worst mistakes made by? There weren't really a lot of mistakes made. Callum McGregor didn't get into a lot of good positions. Cameron Carter-Vickers for the goal.
For the goal. Joe Hart and CCV in combination for the goal, because I don't want to be too critical at either of them, because I thought both of them played very well. Thought Joe Hart done really well to get his hand to the penalty and force it onto the post, and the ball breaks out. And the player is obviously the most advanced player, the penalty taker, and then gets to slot in an easy finish. Other than that, I can't really point at anyone who I would be like, it was him. He made a glaring error, glaring mistake. I thought everyone played their part, played their position, and played really well. That kind of leads into the fact that we're sitting here thinking, kind of aggrieved at the draw, even though before the game I'd have put your hand off for a draw. Kind of like, feel we earned the victory there. We deserved the victory.
We did.
You know what I mean?
We deserved something at the game, and we got something at the game. The manager made a decision to make sure that we didn't lose the game. But the formation changes it did. I mean, everyone, you could see the faces on the people in the stands. I mean, we were shocked. We couldn't make our minds up what position Phillips was coming on to play. And then when we seen it was a back five, and it was only minutes earlier that I said, look, Callum McGregor's getting dragged into a back five. The midfield, the position in the midfield was all over the place at that point. And the managers obviously just thought, do you know what? I better shore up the defence, and then we can try and do something from there.
For me, Baz, right, I see a couple of people saying there, like, AJ wasn't at his best. The only mistake, right, and it's not even a mistake, but the only thing I can remember where I was like, come on, AJ, was when he kind of dawdled on the ball in the right back position in the first half. That is the only thing I remember. You know what I mean? I don't remember him really losing the ball, losing possession, doing anything really wrong. His attacking play was really good, bombing down that wing, and he played the entire game. He was not substituting.
I think what people are probably frustrated at is that Johnson and Taylor weren't getting up as much as what they usually do in the league, and I think that comes down to the way that Brendan had set the team up. He set the team up to be really defensive. And when you look at it at times, and I said right the first 10-15 minutes of the game, we're sitting with a straight back four. We never play with a straight back four. You know, it's very rarely that you see us actually sitting. And Brendan he said, I want to see us attacking in a bank of four. He wants to see us attacking in midfield in a bank of four. When you seen the goals came because there was the three players in the box in a line. You know, they were in a bank. There was a bank agreement that Brendan spoke about. That
even we saying there, Baz, as well. Even we saying there about a left back, and you're saying Greg Taylor didn't do that much wrong. He wasn't really pointed at, and I'm not really pointing at him myself. But still, if we are going to go to a back three, having
you don't need a new left back.
Bernabei's there. You know what I mean? He's more of a winger than he is a left back. So maybe he could be presented with a new possibility, a new lease of life. But I would love to see someone physical like Anthony Johnston is in that left back position.
With everyone saying that we need a new left back, if we go to a back three, like what we did for the last 10-15 minutes of that game tonight, if we go to a back three, we then no longer need a new left back. We need to then keep Phillips, or we need to get Rocky into the team fully fit. Because it was, let's face it, it was Liam Scales that went out to the left back position. And everyone's been screaming out for Liam Scales to go to that position. I would rather play a back three, and you never know. Maybe then bringing Bernabei in will allow Lewis Palmer to go further forward, and then bringing Paulo Bernardo in will give us that little bit more flair in the middle of the park.
Lorna there, biggest positive we can take. We played brilliant in the first half, and we're improving. I'm sure she says there. Every game we're improving. We're like a snowball rolling downhill. We just continue to improve and get stronger and stronger.
Stuart Ramsey, I'll pull him out because he did say 2-1 Celtic. So Stuart, you're not on the live tonight, but we'll get you on the live tomorrow night. The fact that it was 2-2, I mean, I'm happy with it, but I'm not happy with it. I'd be happy with it if we didn't play as good the first half. And if we didn't go in at half time 2-1 up. I said on the 70-minute mark, I cannot see us playing this defensive for the next 20 minutes of the game. Because let's face it, that would have been complete. It would have been hard to watch. But hats off to Brendan. Brendan's had a lot of stick. Brendan made a lot of changes. And remember the first half, he changed Rio Hatate and Lewis Palmer. He swapped the wings with them. You know, and which helped.
Spot on, bro. He made that change, and that led to Palmer finishing and getting us a goal. And I see Strangelove said there in chat that he's not the biggest fan of a back three. Well, we kind of lined up with a back five, with Greg Taylor left back and Anthony Johnston right back, and then advanced them when we were in possession. We left three at the back and pushed forward. We asked them to bomb onto the wings. No one's suggesting we just instantly always play a 3-5-2. You know what I mean? What we're suggesting is, well, we're in possession, the 3-5-2 is an option, and maybe less of the players inverting and more of them staying wide on the wings and bombing down, more in the style of Bobby Pettit and Didier Agathe, more in that Martin O'Neill kind of guys, you know what I mean, to the squad. And when we're defensive, those players drop back and we've got a back five, because they were certainly cutting through us, cutting us apart in the second half, in the beginning of the second half, and certainly after they scored, until Brendan made the changes and we went to the back five, and then we were a lot stronger. They were not finding a way through us. That was for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those ones where you're going to have to sleep on it and wake up tomorrow and go, do you know what? We didn't get, it wasn't a tanking. And let's face it, when we got them, right, when we get the group, you're thinking, right, we could maybe finish second in the group ahead of Lazio and Feyenoord. We beat Lazio twice the last time we played them. So you're thinking, right, we've got a good shout there. Feyenoord, you know what, there's every chance we could probably beat them as well at home, and we could maybe sneak into that second spot. Third at a push. Atletico Madrid, we at the start of the campaign, nobody said that we were going to beat Atletico Madrid or even get a draw. We managed to get a draw. So it's hats off to the managers, hats off to the team that proves again that they are a good squad of players that are just coming together and playing a new style of football under the new manager. So can they take that? What can they? The players will feel gutted tonight. The players to a man will feel absolutely gutted.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that they knew that they had a big chance
to feel gutted, Baz.
Yeah, definitely.
Right to feel gutted. I feel gutted for the players, for the fans in attendance and the fans watching. I also feel gutted because I think all of us are going to have the same opinion. Like I said there a while ago, mate, and the Spanish press will firmly see it as Atletico Madrid wrestled a draw from that game. You know what I mean? That's a wee man. That's a wee man getting as much juice as he can. But he had a cup like this size, stormed a 2-litre bottle and drank half it. Wido. He knows I can't pull him up because we're on stream. You know what I mean? Wido.
Where's the guitar man? Here's this one. He says, "This first half is the best I've seen Celtic played in Europe for years."
Yes,
I'd go along with that.
Yeah, I'd say if we played like that against Lazio, definitely we would have took the victory, and against Feyenoord as well, we would have took the victory if we played like that. It's just testament to how much we've been growing and getting stronger and stronger.
What it does come down to again, though, and let's not beat about the bush, is it was 2 defensive lapses.
John, get the wee man a pair of baffies. I actually stayed in Dunfermline for a wee while, so I know what baffies are. You know what I mean? But yeah, a wee pair of baffies, that's what it means. He's got sliders, but he doesn't wear them.
Yeah, getting back to the defence, I mean, Greg Taylor, I mean, he was like, I never done anything, but the guy just gets his foot just in front of him, and that's all it takes. You know, as soon as he's got his foot in front, and then he goes down, he maybe makes a bit of a meal of it. He goes down quick. The referee was quick to point to the spot, really quick to point to the spot. I mean, he was probably choking at the bit.
The ref, I think, Baz, was in an excellent position to see what happened.
Yeah,
and I would like to see it again, right, and see if Greg Taylor didn't really see the striker get his body across and his foot across, and was already swinging to clear the ball before the foot came in. Is it that kind of contact, or did he see the foot come in and think he could win the ball? And that's different, but definite penalty.
They're definitely a bit shoulder to shoulder, and he gets his foot in front. Do you know? And then as soon as there's any contact, I mean, the way that he goes down, you're thinking a soft penalty, but you know, you're thinking it didn't even go to VAR. He was just like, no, it's a penalty. It's a penalty. That's it. So overall, I would say the ref didn't have a great game, but didn't have a bad game.
Mm-hmm.
No, there was moments where, I mean, he booked three of their players in the first half. So he wasn't
one of their players off,
and he sent one of their players off. So we can't say that the referee was against us. For one time in Europe, it was. I think it was
a fair performance.
Aye, yeah.
He's human. He makes errors. I understand that. You know what I mean? There was some things I thought we should have been getting awarded free kicks for. We didn't get awarded free kicks for.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't point at the referee and say the referee cost us. I would more so say that coming out in the second half and then making those instant changes and chasing the game and us not reacting to it quick enough kind of cost us. If we had reacted instantly to those changes, maybe if Brendan had made changes during the half-time period, maybe that would have been different. Maybe Brendan would have come out.
We didn't need to make changes at halftime. We were in the ascendancy. They made the changes because they felt that we were the better team. So, you know, Brendan Rodgers was quite right at that point. It's all going to come down to the fact that they got that second goal. And then that was when Brendan decided to go to a back five. And you can understand why he wants to go to back five, because he doesn't want to lose. He didn't want to lose the game. He wanted to try and steal something. And obviously, when you see Callum McGregor getting called over to the side, he's obviously telling Callum McGregor at that point, said when they're in attack, we go to a back five. Said when we're pushing up, the team goes to a back three. He's obviously Phillips has came on. He's told Cameron Carter-Vickers and that to say, right, we're going to a back three when the team's pushing forward. So tactically, you know, the manager done his thing. It just comes down to two little moments in the game, because you can't say. And I'm going to say this, it's two little moments that cost us the game. It wasn't two little moments that cost them the game, because it was completely brilliant football from Celtic for the Kyogo goal. Absolutely brilliant football. For the header from Dyson to hit it down to Kyogo, Kyogo to then chest it
to O'Reilly.
Chest it to O'Reilly. Lovely bit of football. And then O'Reilly takes the ball and sees a gap right through the middle of their defence, knowing that Kyogo is making that run, and then hits the ball right through to Kyogo, and Kyogo scores. They could say it's a defensive lapse from us. We never closed them down enough, or blah, 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 blah. But then when you look at the one for Palma, that's a cross for Dyson Maeda that Kyogo misses out on, and the ball comes right through to Louis Palma. It's on the other hand, the other edge of the box, and hits an absolute screamer.
I see John Coletta coming in there and saying Skills was wrestled to the floor in the dying minutes, not even looked at. 100%. I was shouting about it. I was shouting about it, like how he was manhandled and wrestled to the ground. Where is VAR in that situation? 100%. I'm on the same page as you. I was actually like speaking about it while we were watching along to the game. I was like, that's a penalty kick. Skills was our most prominent aerial threat from corners and in the box. He did have a chance earlier, sort of hurt his shoulder and went over the bar, but still he was in there challenging and threatening from corners. Definitely, I'm on the same page right there. I was like, that. What is VAR if it's not there to spot things that the referee does not?
Yeah, that's it. Just looking at some of the headlines, as I said, Brendan Rodgers' emerging team is coming of age in their epic engrossing 2-2 tussle with Atletico Madrid. That's a headline and a half. Brendan Rodgers' emerging team coming of age in their epic 2-2 engrossing.
That is the most complimentary headline I've heard. What media is printing that?
That's the Scotsman.
That is the most bigging Celtic up I've heard from the media in a long time, bro. Usually it's everything to put us down.
Celtic come of age in Atletico Madrid draw. Brendan Rodgers' tactical nuance as Kyogo and O'Reilly access electricity in the stands. Oh, fantastic. Brilliant. Unbelievable. But it was a draw. And we're still sitting bottom of the table. And as we look at the table, we've played 3, we've won none, we've drawn 1, we've lost 2, we've got 3 goals for, 6 goals against. So we're on a -3 goal difference with 1 point. Lazio have played 3, they've lost 1, drawn 1, and won 1. So that's interesting from Lazio. They're on -1 goals, but they've obviously got the 4 points on the board. When it comes down to it, Atletico Madrid are in second spot. They've got 3 games played. They've won 1. They've drawn 2, and they're on 5 points. When you think about it, Lazio scored in the final minutes of their game with a header against Atletico Madrid to get a draw. Does it say how far Celtic have come on as a team? When you look at the fact that the team sitting on 6 points is Feyenoord. They've played 3 games. They've won 2 games, but they've lost 1 game. So it's a tight group.
I think when you think about how the other teams in the group are going to be viewing that result tonight, how their fans and their podcasts that are going to be live right now and discussing their results and how this result affects the group, I think they're going to be like, Celtic done us a solid there.
Yeah.
Earned a draw. Celtic should have had the win. I think they're the ones that are going to be saying that, and I think they're actually going to be worrying about second coming off Celtic when we come to play them the second time round, and how much we've improved and we're growing and developing. And they're all going to be looking at Kyogo and Matt O'Reilly and how dynamic that partnership is, moving from midfield to front and scoring goals, as well as Palma as well.
Yeah. Lewis Palma has been an absolute revelation since he's got that spot.
Maeda's work rate as well, Baz. You know what I mean? Not to undersell Maeda, right? Sometimes he's got that, runs up a mountain and trips over the final brick. I get that, you know what I mean? 2 steps to the top of the mountain and he rolls back down. I understand that. But Maeda's work rate and everything he put in tonight was just exemplary. And also seen Bernardo tracking back and kind of doing the grunt half of the game when he did come on. For all I didn't see him get the ball much as a creative influence, which is what I think he's really there for, given the quality of player he is and where he comes from. I think he's there as a creative influence, but doing the hard work and doing the dirty work, I've certainly seen him do that as well.
Just replying to Strange Love the Doctor, when you say you like it, it sounds quite bad. Let me ask you this. Are we going to be the worst team in the Champions League history? No, we're not. I did say before the game, if you go back to the videos before the game, I did say that I would take a draw because I thought a draw would be a good result for us. Everyone else, I mean, your man sitting in the screen next to me said that Celtic would win 3-1. I thought a draw would be a fantastic result for Celtic. I'm gutted, absolutely gutted at a draw because the way that we played the first half. Now that I've seen the way that we've got that in us, now that I think that we've got that in us, it's time to push on. And it's like that headline says, when you've got the Scottish media said it was the Champions League win that was so craved by Celtic. There was a sense of Brendan Rodgers' emerging team coming of age in their epic, engrossing 2-2 tussle with Atletico Madrid. And that's what it was. That's what it was. No one expected us to perform so good tonight. No one expected it.
I did. Strange Love did as well, bro. He said to me before, Celtic, Hulk smash, Celtic to win 3-0, the Green Machine turns up. So, like, players, people, commenters, some people saying, like, Celtic would get beat 2-0, Celtic wouldn't turn up and stuff like that. Right? I understand that pessimism. You know what I mean? I understand that. But
I was only saying it because you have to dream the dream, and I totally respect everyone's comments. But when you look at how they've been playing in their league, and they've won the last 5 games in their league, you know, and it's a league that's a lot better than ours. Now the fact that they've still got a game in hand, and they've still got a game in hand. And when they win that game in hand, because it's with a team at the bottom of the league, once they win that, they'll then go top of the league above Real Madrid on goal difference. They're already they're already 1 goal to the better of Real Madrid. So
looking at that, Baz, right, and your experience of La Liga and La Liga teams and the quality and the calibre of football that's played there compared to the SPFL and exactly what Celtic just achieved in a home game in the Champions League, how does that rank for you? How do you see that result?
Massive result. Absolutely massive result. And that's what the Spanish will be. The Spanish papers tomorrow will be like, Atletico Madrid were lucky. They were lucky. Celtic almost took them, you know, and beat them. And the fact, I mean, the fact that their manager was play acting at the end, their manager was arguably the best player, almost the best player in the league at the moment, the best player in Spain almost, and turn up and get up off the ground because there's nothing wrong with them.
Exactly. He didn't want the injury time added.
It didn't, and that's testament to how well Celtic played. But if you'd asked me before the game, I would have taken a draw all day long. But I'm absolutely
Yes.
gutted the way that that it turned out, which is
Yeah.
just one of those things. But anyway,
I think it's a good thing to be gutted at the way it turned out,
yes,
though, because it
definitely.
suggests that we wanted more, we
Yeah,
deserved more.
we definitely did deserve more. Anyway, right, that's us. We've been on long enough. It's been a long old night. We need Feyenoord to pump Lazio and Rome now, says one of the commenters. Imagine if we play like that in European League, Europa League. It'd be great. I think if we can keep playing like this, and I have been saying it since before the season started, our objective should not have been to finish second. Should not have been to finish second, because when you look at it, if we'd played like this the first two games, I would say, yeah, finish second. But I wanted that run to Dublin. I wanted that run to Dublin next May. And I think that
All off to Dublin in the green.
if we can play like that in the Europa, if we can manage to pull this off and finish third, if we can manage to pull it off and finish third, we've got a right good chance, cracking good chance of going far in the Europa. But we need to do it. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. We need to win at least 2 games to finish third. Have we got
Just
that?
to touch on what you said, Baz, and what Longland that said in chat there, right? Why was their manager like that with Brendan at the end of the game? I don't think that was so much disrespectful, as in deliberately disrespectful towards Brendan, as it was disrespectful, right?
He was raging
I think
with
he was
his own
frustrated
players.
and raging. Yeah, 100%. 100, and that's testament. That is testament to how Celtic played, how he felt that game had swung on a dime, how Brendan made those tactical changes. They got a player sent off, and how we should have clutched that game. Him telling Griezmann to get up, not wanting to send the medical team on. He didn't want added time. He didn't want Celtic to clutch that in the death.
You said at halftime they were sitting with 3 players booked at halftime. There's 3 guys on yellow cards. You said, look, we need to make sure we need to pressure those guys. And what
Pressure
happened?
them.
Player gets sent off.
Sent off.
Of
course, that's what you do. We all do that, don't we, Baz? We've all played Sunday League. We've all played at a level of football. Even some of the ladies here in chat probably play football. Any player you get booked, you're like, that person comes near you, boom, you highlight that. You pressure them, you push them, you force them to make a rash decision, make the rash challenge. They're going to get sent off. You can see it coming. That's why, of course, Brendan would have been looking at CCV being on a yellow card as well. You know what I mean? He'd have been taking a long look at that.
The Spanish media tomorrow will not miss him. They'll not miss him. They'll have seen the way that he conducted himself, and the way that they've seen the way that the team reacted throughout that game, and how close they came to getting beat in the Champions League. I mean, this is a team that are expecting to get through to qualify at the top of this group. Spain have got high hopes for their teams in the Champions League every year. And the fact that Celtic did what they did tonight, and especially that first half, was absolutely amazing. Nothing should be taken away from anybody at Celtic tonight. The only grump we have is it was 2 defensive laps, 2 little defensive errors. The Greg Taylor one is just unlucky. Greg Taylor's just unlucky.
I think it was 50-50 really, Baz. A bit of defensive error and a bit of amazing forward play on both counts. You know what I mean? And you can take that. You can take that on the chin. You can certainly You can certainly look at your opponent, and as well as I always see it with boxers, and they're like, this guy's a mug. I'll knock him out in 1 round, and I'm like, who are you for knocking out a mug? Now Celtic aren't like that, and we were not like that tonight. This is a high quality, high caliber opponent that we were playing, and we went toe to toe. We've delivered those punches, and we should have had the win, but we got the draw. Now, okay, that's fine. Seen Tyson Fury do that again against Deontay Wilder, and then come out in the next leg and put him on his bum. Let's hope that's what Celtic do. And as you says, bro, you said it. It's getting late. It's getting towards the end of the night.
Yeah,
hail everyone. Hail, you legend.
Hail. Yep. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you to everyone.
Anything.
Is there a donations channel? available as a donations to the channel. Yeah, you could do a chat or
Super chat, I think it's called.
super chat. You could do the super chat if you give me a minute, or you can do. Where is it?
Sweet to know, Joseph. Sorry, who is it who said about the donation? Let me see that. Donations, Paul. What are you donating for? Are you buying me a personality? It's going to take a lot of money, bro.
If you're just wanting a big shout out, you
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
If this computer will just hold up, there we go.
You buy me another bottle for the next game? No.
I'll need to buy you. I'll need to buy you one for the next game. Right, there you go. Buy me a beer.
All legends in chat. I love to see the chatters and the people commenting. It's so interactive, bro. I absolutely love it.
Yep,
That's
it's
the link
brilliant.
for
I love this
donations
channel.
there.
That's
Buy
the
my
link
man
for
a beer.
donations there. Buy us a beer, and I'll make sure that Kaiser gets a new bottle for the next game.
Yeah. I'll just fill the same bottle up with Ribena, bro. There's a Ribena there. We'll kid on it, Buckfast.
We'll kid on it, Buckfast. Right. Thanks to everyone for watching tonight. There'll be some interesting Celtic news tomorrow morning. It's going to be a hard video tomorrow morning because it's going to be pretty much devastating. Anyway, on that note, have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans all around the world. Lit. Roll up to the party.